Today, let's continue talking about the presidential elections and the investment markets. Reasons to maybe not worry and some reasons to be concerned, like you probably are, and some ideas on how to avoid costly mistakes. I'm Telton Hall, Certified Financial Planner at Advanced Financial Planning in Cedar City, Utah, where our team, we help upper middle class and affluent families accomplish their retirement goals. We have been dedicated to these helpful educational videos as we cover interest rates and retirement and Social Security and much more, with all of the concern around what happens to investments leading up to and following the election. We wanted to give you a few videos to really just help you make informed decisions. With the elections looming and the markets going crazy, we wanted to address some of those concerns, those really reasonable concerns. Now, I want to give you some historical framework before we dive in, before we start digging into the current differences in the market impact of different political policies. We wanted to give you a historical framework. We've already decided that you're going to build a retirement income plan. So that's step one. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you. The next step is aligning the asset with the retirement income plan. What's important here is that you need to align the assets with what it needs to accomplish, not over the next day or 2 days or even the next year, but over the next 20 or 30 years. What's its role going to be in retirement? Don't bet the whole farm on the election results. Not that we won't make adjustments for this season, but the key is to align the asset with its 20 and 30-year retirement income objectives. Just can't stress that enough. I mentioned before, we have folks coming to us who are convinced that if a certain candidate wins the election, that the investment markets will tank. It's a big concern for them. So we certainly help them address that. But the flip side, what if markets go up? What if maybe the other person that you want to win gets back into office, or things don't turn out like you think they might when XYZ candidate gets in? Here's what's interesting, and it's super relevant, is that there are arguments for this on both sides of the aisles. Let's start with this historical perspective. In this chart, we see that when looking at averages, the fourth year, the year when the election happens, this has historically been a good year. Better even than year one and year two. Actually, year three is pretty good, but year four has historically been pretty solid. So there has historically been this tailwind where the party in office is pulling out all the stops to try to encourage the economy as they go into the election. We're aware of this. Part of President Trump's really point of emphasis has certainly been a strong economy. So there's a pretty strong group of thought that says the next month or more could see a strong push upward in the investment markets. A variation to that line of thinking is that the markets, even if they flounder until the election and then take off, depending on who gets in office, there's still this upside potential. But there are really two sides to that coin as well. Some will point to the Trump rally that began in the investment markets after the current president's election as proof that a second term will bring more of the same. That may be the case. Here's a chart that supports that from a purely historical perspective. So this is the same type of information as the previous chart, only this time the average returns have been separated into the first term and the second term of the presidency, you can actually see that from that historical vantage point, a second term of a current president looks super promising for the next 3 years. Now, if you want to make a case that markets will go up if former Vice President Biden is elected, then you would point to this chart. Check this one out. Here you see Clinton in green and JFK in dark blue, how they outpaced and really even far outpaced Bush and even President Trump. And to further establish this trend with more recent data, you would look at this President Obama chart, where the market returns that happened during this term, they were substantially higher than anything else, way higher than the average. What I find really compelling, really interesting about this chart is that you could make a case that what led up to and happened during this market run that you're looking at on this chart, it has a lot in common with right now. It's the 2009 to 2014 bull market. It happened after a substantial decline in investment markets, kind of like the COVID crash, only bigger. It happened during an unprecedented Federal Reserve Board action to encourage the economy and the markets, kind of like the current, only this time it's bigger, monetary and fiscal stimulus and even Fed board policy adjustments in response to COVID-19. So you pair that with any type of vaccine or even any sense of stability around COVID, and you can make a reasonable case that either Trump or Biden would be going into a similar type of potential bull market environment. Now, there certainly could be reasons that this time is different. This time could be way different, and we see some of those. We'll get into that. But for now, remember that once you have a plan, then yes, with certain assets you can help mitigate or limit or even eliminate the risk of a negative return in a big market crash. And we probably need to implement those sooner rather than later. But this is the point. Let's keep a long-term historical perspective and make sure that as we make those adjustments, you can participate in any kind of an upside in order to accomplish your goals as needed through retirement. That is as important part of your secure retirement income as protecting against the downside. Call us to get started or catch us on the next video.
If this information has been helpful to you, check out our other Telton's Tips videos, or better yet, call our office. You can talk to an advanced financial planning team member like me. Imagine that, a real life human that cares about you and your goals. My name is Caden Keller. I work here as a financial advisor along with Telton and the rest of the team. Here, we take a team approach to caring for our clients because we all know 2 heads are better than 1. So give our office a call, and I or anyone else on the team would be happy to answer a quick question for you or schedule a complimentary retirement planning meeting. There's also a link provided if you would like to learn more about who we are at Advanced Financial Planning or what it is we do for our clients in planning for their retirement. Lastly, the schedule an appointment link will bring up our calendar, and you can choose a time for a complimentary on the phone or an in-person retirement planning meeting. Whichever option you choose, the only mistake is to do nothing and keep working and putting retirement preparation off until you die at your desk. I've seen it time and time again. No matter how good and specialized Telton and I are, when people wait too long to seriously consider their retirement options, they're significantly set back and can damage their retirement. So call, schedule, or click to learn more. You've got nothing to lose, and your future self in retirement has a whole lot to gain.